Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Reinaldo Perez. By a show of hands, how many people listens to and enjoy hip-hop music while working out at the gym, getting your swole on, driving down the road, or simply after long days of work, you go home, sit back, relax, put on your headphones, and listen to that playlist that you just downloaded in iTunes. So this shows a growing industry that dates back in the late 1970s. Now, in order to understand today's hip-hop, you have to ask yourself, where did hip-hop come from? What are the elements in the four pillars of hip-hop? So, the word hip-hop was first used in 1963 by a pop group of the name DeVille. It wasn't until late 1970s where Keith Cowboy, a member of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 MC, is the one that inherited this word and implement it into his lyrics. Now, hip-hop is a culture and an art movement that was created by young African Americans and Latinos in the late 1970s. The specific birthplace of hip-hop was known to be in New York City. In 2010, in accordance to Sharon Jacobs, an assistant art editor from the Michigan Daily News, stated that the four pillars of hip-hop was created in South Bronx, New York, in which a young local DJ by the name of Africa Bambaataa was coined and putting together all these elements and naming it the four pillars of hip-hop. Now, in order to understand the early years of hip-hop, films such as Beat Street, Breakin', Crush Groove, and Wild Style were creating, showcasing all the elements of hip-hop during the early years. Now, the four pillars of hip-hop is an underground movement expressed through graffiti, MC, DJ, and b-boy. Your first pillar of hip-hop is graffiti. Graffiti is known to be created in the late 1960s in Philadelphia. Now, the term graffiti is a Greek word for graphene, which means to write. So your graffiti artists will express themselves or communicate by transferring their thoughts onto a blank canvas, such as a train, a brick wall, or simply their notebooks. In New York City, there's a museum that showcases this art form to the public. Your second pillar of hip-hop is MC. MC stands for Master of Ceremony, or your rapper. So the MC is a singer with a rhythm-like output to the public. And there are four types of MCs. You have your conscious MC. Your conscious MC is the one that will raise awareness throughout his lyrics. For example, the Furious 5 MCs will talk about the politics and the social activities within the urban community. Another MC was your gangster MC. Your gangster MC came out later in the late 1980s, and the West Coast is responsible for creating this hardcore rap, which was gangster MC. The gangster MC will express the hardship and the struggles within the urban community by sometimes using explicit lyrics. Another MC was your battle MC. Your battle MC was that MC that will challenge the skills of another MC by sometimes bragging about himself or belittling that MC. One of the first known battle between two MCs was in December of 1981, in which MC Kumo D battled MC Busy B. Another known battle MC was a 14-year-old female by the name of Roxanne Shante. She took on every MC that was within this business, and she was very successful with it. Your fourth type of MC is your entertainer MC. Your entertainer MC was that storyteller MC. So, for example, you have Slick Rick, which is one of the most successful storytellers in hip-hop culture. So he, with his song Children's Story, Lottie Dottie, and Mona Lisa, he was very creative by this type of MC. Your third pillar of hip-hop is your b-boy. B-boy is your break dancer. He was the one responsible for entertaining the public by his physical dancing. So in the late 1970s, early 1980s, there were two known breakdancing groups, which was your Rocksteady crew and your New York City Breakers. In the movie Beat Street, it showcases their skills within the movie. Believe it or not, there's movie stars and singers that in their early careers, they used to be b-boys and b-girls. For example, Vin Diesel was known in the 80s to be a b-boy, and Jennifer Lopez in her early career was a b-girl. Your fourth pillar of hip-hop is your DJ, your disc jockey. He was known to be the orchestra of the show. He will hype up the show through his cuts and scratch, and he'll introduce the MCs after his show. On your left side, you have DJ Kool Herc. DJ Kool Herc is known to be the godfather of the DJs. He was the first known DJ in New York. His career started in 1967. On the top right, you have DJ Africa Bambaataa, which was responsible in gathering all the elements and naming it the four pillars of hip-hop. On the bottom right, you have DJ Grandmaster Flash, which was the inventor of the scratch. Now, advantages and disadvantages of the early years of hip-hop. Advantages: the MC's lyrics were very clean, very educational. They talked about the struggles in the streets without using profanity words. A disadvantage in the early 80s was that hip-hop wasn't commercialized like today. So those young MCs, those young DJs were obligated to sell their products in the streets. Also, your graffiti artists were being targeted by the government for vandalism of property. Your B-boys and B-girls were being looked at as little small gangs. So in conclusion, the four pillars of hip-hop is the base, is the foundation for today's successful hip-hop artists and DJs. If it wasn't for Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 MCs, Roxanne Shante, and DJ Kool Herc, there wouldn't be a DJ Khaled, a G-Unit, The Game, or Nicki Minaj. Thank you. This concludes my speech.